So, Travis, yes, Miss Mia, explain about the situation that happened before, during, and after Stacy and Tracy's wedding, and what happened at the dinner. Well, Miss Mia, being married to you has been the best thing in the world, but I was young and immature, and I didn't know how to, how you say, I wasn't mature enough to take on the responsibilities of being your husband. I didn't know how to deal with conflict. I didn't know how to maneuver in situations, and so I took the dumb route. And instead of fixing the problem, I made it worse by tipping out on you. And that part, I take full responsibility for and accountability. And yeah, because you broke me and you hurt me. And Miss Mia, I was too immature to understand your feelings in all of this. I was selfish. I did not want to be confronted with my dumb decisions that I was making in this marriage. Yeah. And I was left to deal with my own emotions. And so, when I realized I made my mistake with my affair with Ida, that's why I came back, and I've been working on this marriage with you because I want to be with you and you only. You know, Travis, I get that, and the pain that you have caused me, it's going to take time for me to deal with that situation. But how you handle your affair with Miss Ida brings me pause. I get that, and I know it caused you to bump the brakes big time. I didn't just pump the brakes. I slammed on the nuts, and I put the car in park, turned the engine off, and got out the car. You know, Travis, you don't have no clue what it feels like to be betrayed by someone who you made a vow to and claimed to love, and he took all of that and you dismissed it because of your own selfishness. And Miss Mia, once again, this conversation is very uncomfortable because I hurt you. I have to deal with that hurt. I'm not cool with the way I'm feeling right now because my heart is beating. I don't care nothing about how you're feeling and your selfishness. I'm not trying to deflect. I'm just saying this conversation is overdue, and I'm taking accountability in dealing with your feelings in all of this. Travis, the only reason why I am still in this relationship with you is because I have watched your growth. Since you came back and you've apologized, and me holding your feet to the fire of what you've done to cause this relationship to be strained. What I appreciate is that you were not blaming nobody else, but you're taking accountability and responsibility for fixing this. You're not blaming me for your foolishness and your immaturity and your selfishness. You're like, trust me. If any of that would have came out your mouth, and Miss Mia, knowing the woman that you are, I wasn't going to come with no foolishness like that. I know you would have been gone in a heartbeat, but I love you, and my whole thing in this situation is proving my love to you, rebuilding that trust. Yeah, because if you would have came back talking about it's my fault because you got greedy, it's my fault because of me not taking the trash out, cooking and cleaning, and making your decisions and choices my fault, oh yeah, I would have took a 2x4 to your forehead. Understood? Trust me. That's why I'm glad that you gave me the time when we came back home. We had all the family and friends here. That I got a chance to do reflection and to grow mentally, and spiritually, and emotionally. And Travis, since we've been back home, I've been watching you. I've been watching you lead by example. I've been watching you growing. I've been watching your spirituality grow, your maturity, your everything about you has been for the better, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Mia. And I know you've been watching me. And I am very sorry for how I treated you in that situation dealing with Miss Ida. Yeah, because that was all kinds of jacked up. That was some foolishness to the 10th degree. I mean, the way you handled that situation was so immature and selfish. And as a woman, I felt that from her. When I talked to her at Stacy's house, I felt her pain as a woman, as a mother, as a person, period. I felt that. You got to be some kind of cruel to put a woman through that and then be dismissive the way you was to her at the dinner. That part right there is unacceptable. Truly noted. My actions hurt a lot of people, and I was selfish and greedy. Greedy is not just a word. I mean, you was on a whole different type of stupidity. And I mean, Yeah, you came back to me, but you hurt her. Your actions was just crazy. Who this gut punch hurts. But I'm gonna accept every bit of this because you're right. And see, Travis, what I love about this conversation that I'm having with you now, if we would have had it prior to, you probably wouldn't have taken responsibility. I would have been a whole lot of other foolishness. You would have came out your mouth sideways. You would have blamed me for the kitchen sink. And boy, I'm telling you, God has been on your side. Yeah, you're right. Because, man, Miss Mia, I love you. But when you get mad, you're a Tasmanian devil. Boy, don't call me out my name. No, I'm not saying it in a situation to where I'm trying to deflect from responsibility. I just know how you get when you get angry. And you think I don't have a right to be angry? You think you can just come in here and just tear through people's lives like you did me and Miss Ida and think that we're not going to respond? I mean, what were you thinking? I mean, even Miss Ida, what were you thinking? I mean, no, she's not my responsibility, but you hurt that woman. And the amount of pain that you put her through, as a woman myself, as your wife, and what you put me through, no. We're not going to sit up here and give you any kind of medal of honor. And I wasn't expecting you to, Miss Mia. I mean, there's nothing I can say, but I'm sorry. And you know, from that point on until now, I've been doing nothing but showing you how much I've grown as a man, how much I've grown as a father, how much I've grown as a spiritual man. Don't get it twisted. I've seen your growth, but because of what you put Miss Ida through and how you deflected and how you was dismissive and how just cruel in all ways, you can't just apologize your way through that without the actions being changed. I get that. I understand that. And that's why when the house was full and the people was here in the house, man, that was, it was like it took your attention away from that. So that's why I was in here growing, growing spiritually and getting my mind right and trying to be a good man to you and making good decisions and being a good provider and a good leader. And yes, Travis, that's what you are. And I have seen your improvements. And I'm very appreciative. Don't get it twisted. But you have to take accountability for the hurt that you have put on me and Miss Ida. That's a knot you put in our heart that it's going to take some time to deal with. Yes, I know. And no matter what, I don't care how much time it takes, I'm going to prove to you over and over again how sorry that I am of what I've done in that situation and how it didn't just affect you or Miss Ida. It affected everybody. It affected the fact that I was not even around to help raise Stacy, and she had to do that by herself. You know, when we was at the house, we talked about that, and I have mad respect for her in having to deal with that by herself. And she explained to me why she did not tell you about the child, because of your immaturity, your selfishness, and how cruel you are in not taking responsibility. Yeah, you're right. I was not responsible in that situation. I was selfish, and I was cruel. And I get it. You have no choice but to get it. You have to deal with it. You walked away from a situation and you came back to me. And you left her there to deal with that situation. You may not have known that she was pregnant, but you had a whole full situation going on over here. That was the selfish and cruel mentality that you had going on back in the day. God, Miss Mia, I'm not liking this conversation at all, because I can't come back with, well, you did, well, you said, because it wasn't anything about you. It was my choices. It was my decision. And the fact that I put you through all of that breaks my heart, because I love you so much. Well, if that's love, boy, hate the mess out of me. Because I've been through foolishness. And when I married you, I wanted a good man. And what you put me through, dude, I get it. I didn't live up to the man that I said I was. I took you for granted. You know, Travis, I could have done the same thing to you. And when things got rough because of us being new in this marriage, I could have ran to another man too. I could have poured out my heart to another man too, opened up my legs to another man too, but I didn't. I stayed and I fought things out. But you chose to leave me. You chose to be with someone else. You chose to make this situation worse. Yes, ma'am, I did. And I'm not happy about it. But what I am going to do is continue growing spiritually, emotionally. I'm going to still lead by example and still try my best to be a good husband to you. And no matter what it takes, to never give up. Because my responsibility is to you and my family. And you know, the reason why I believe you is because you are a man of God. Because you do follow Christ and Jehovah. And because you do lead by example. And you're a good man, Travis. You just had to grow into your maturity. I just didn't appreciate the fact of during the process of you growing, I had to suffer, and so did Miss Ida. True that. True that. And I appreciate you giving me that time to grow. I appreciate you during that time when all the family was in here. You know, I was watching you just as well handle that with as much grace. Boy, do you know how hard it was for me not to go upside your head at every turn because of you ducking and dodging and deflecting? You're right, you're right. But one person I couldn't duck and dodge was Jehovah. Because at the end of the day, while me growing spiritually, I wanted my prayers to be heard. And because of how I treated you, man, I suffered immensely. Jehovah said he's not one to be mocked. You reap what you sow. Dude, and this reaping I've been going through, it hurts. Whew. Yeah, you're right. And I've been watching you reaping. And that's why I'm very careful about how I treat you. Because it also reflects back on me. When you was going through your situation, it was hard for me to follow you. It was hard for me to follow you. Because you wasn't living up to spiritual responsibility. It was hard for me to follow you. And Miss Mia, I'm so sorry because of that. I'm so sorry I put you through that. Because I do care about you. I do love you. Your feelings are more important than mine. And Miss Ida, and how you treated her, and how you left her. I mean, yeah, you may not have a relationship with her because of the affair, and you chose to leave it in the situation. Her. You gotta fix that. You're right. You're right. And the same way I'm coming to you and asking for forgiveness. And no, I'm not looking forward to that conversation. Trust me. Because I did not just only have an I ghosted her at the end. And then the way I did her at the dinner, yeah, I'm afraid you may not have gotten putting a 2x4 to my head, but she may. Yeah, and in a sense, I may lose a husband behind all of that. But that's the consequences of your actions. You chose to do that. And you thought the easy way out was coming back to me. No, that was the hardest part. Because I knew I had to deal with this situation right here. Even though we talked and hashed it out 2 years prior to the wedding. But when I took you there, and that Band-Aid over the wounds that you was healing from came off, you know, I had to watch you relive that whole situation. And I saw it in your eyes. And it just broke me down as a man, watching my wife hurt because of the choices and decisions that I made. Doesn't feel good. Nor does it feel good living through it. Nor does it feel good being at that time with an immature, selfish, greedy man. You're right. You're right. But while we're having this conversation, the more I'm taking responsibility, the easier this pain is. But the pain is not because of hurting you. The pain is from also, I let Jehovah down. You're right, because you was not following him. And I had to take on my responsibility spiritually by myself. And lead this family by myself because you wasn't doing your part. And that responsibility fell back on me. And it was a heavy load. And I was a married single mother. Dealing with taking care of this house. Dealing with your foolishness. It wasn't fair. What I have learned through my spiritual growth is no matter the dumb stupidity, the dumb stupid things I did, Jehovah's always there to help me endure. And he forgives. And he tells me to keep going. And yes, this situation is very painful that I put you through, and I'm so sorry. But Travis, while you're growing spiritually in all of this, and you're taking accountability and responsibility, I'm not here to beat you up. I'm not here to throw stuff back up in your face. Because what I appreciate and love about you is the fact that you are taking accountability for your actions. Now, if you were sitting here being dismissive and throwing up stuff up in my face about what I wasn't doing and this and that and the other, oh God, your life would be over. Miss Mia, I know you are not one to be trifled with. And because of my love for you, because I care so much about you, I don't want to put you through no more foolishness. And I've watched you, and I believe you. I truly believe that you do not want to hurt me. And that's the coolest thing. But I still need time in watching how you handled Miss Ida. She's the one that needs the apology. And you're right. You're right. Oh, boy, you're right. And you're right. That's all I can say. Travis, because of the man that you are, your transition spiritually and emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, you're a good man. You had a hiccup, but you got your life back together, and you're a good leader and a good provider. And because of that, and because of watching you grow and giving you time, I have no problem continuing to love you. I have no problem following you as a leader because you're a man of God. You know one thing we forgot to do before having this conversation? What's that? I should have said a prayer. You're right, you're right. But I appreciate how loving Jehovah really is. And the wife that I have before me, and giving me the grace to grow. I appreciate all of that about you, Miss Mia. That's what makes me love you. Especially with you being a woman of God. Boy, Travis, it's not easy. It's not easy being your wife. But sometimes when you're in a dismissive mode, it hurts my feelings and it brings back those feelings of how you used to be. I know that's not who you are now, but it agitates and it puts my mind back in those situations. And that is not where I want us to go. And when I'm in those modes, I'm scared. But what I do know is that Jehovah is here to help us. And He loves us. And He wants this marriage to work. And that's what I fight so hard for, is gaining your trust back and being there for you and loving you. Yeah, that's easy for you to say. And watching you, it's harder for you to do. Because sometimes I do put you in that mentality of fighting. But Miss Mia, you have every right to feel the pain. And I have no right to sit up there and make you feel like your feelings are less of importance. So I'm going to try my best to be better in paying all the attention to you. Thank you, Travis, for your honesty. But I'm going to need time. Miss Mia, you take all the time that you need. And in that point of taking all the time that you need, I'm going to still be here loving you, leading you, guiding you, providing for you, and protecting you from all things. And Travis, that's what makes me love you as a man, as a husband, as a provider, and as head of household. I appreciate you.